tonight and it rained yesterday, but surprisingly that won't affect the field too much. The patch underneath is not too soft. It'll be a little spongy, but it shouldn't cut up too much, and if anything, it will favour New Zealand. Some interesting pairings today. The two captains, Joel Rusbrook and Mark Graham, marking each other from the loose forward position. And one other interesting one, Dennis Williams, playing his 31st test, is marking Guy Delaunay, who is 6'2", and Dennis Williams is about 5'9". They play very different football. It'll be interesting to watch the two. With me today is Graham Cooksley. Graham, what do you think of the prospects?
Well, we're in for an interesting game of rugby league today. We're going to see a French team, unusual for a French team touring New Zealand. They've got very orthodox forwards. They're going to play the English style of rugby league that we've seen traditionally from the European teams, and we're going to see still the flair in the back line. We've got an excellent French pairing in the centres. We saw them in Christchurch last Wednesday night, still retain the flair with a wee kick over the top, the chip through, but they're still going to play that orthodox football in the forwards. The other thing I think will be very interesting today is the rain has come down. Previous years, I always have said that would have been a big advantage to the New Zealand team. However, this year, I would not like to say that because the French have certainly tightened up their play on the inside backs. But I think we're in for a very interesting game. I think the score will be close, and let's hope we see a good game of rugby league.
This New Zealand side, virtually the same as the one that toured France and England very successfully. The score 1-1 at the moment between France and New Zealand. Mike O'Donnell at fullback. The only change really is Dennis Williams at number 3 in the centres, although he's playing his 31st test today, along with Mark Graham. Plenty of stars in the side, and the 3 men back from Australia, Fred Arcoy, Mark Graham and Mark Broadhurst. The French side, Marcel Pillon at fullback. He's one of the stars, along with number 13 and the captain, Joel Rusbrook, who plays loose forward. Opposite the New Zealand forward, of course, Mark Graham. Some interesting stars in there. They're 14 pounds a man lighter in the forwards, but they make up for it with a lot of speed and tall men in the backs. The referee today is Mr. Eddie Ward from Brisbane, who last refereed New Zealand against Australia in '78. Dennis Williams starting for the Kiwis. We expect it to be fairly hard and keen in there for a start to establish some superiority. This Kiwi side, very spirited.
The French are starting off in their orthodox play, trying to run the ball from the dummy half and just try out the New Zealand defence right at the beginning of the game.
Manuel Caravaka. And Jose Ginet coming into the tackle. Stolen by Shane Varley. Broadhurst. Who's he got out there? Gary Prome. Gary Prome, who used to play second row, playing on the wing, had a successful tour of Britain in that position. And already the rain has stopped, only a sun shower we had. Tony Cole making ground. Losing the ball into that, Mark Graham into the tackle. French possession, 6 tackles, see what they can do with it.
We just saw some real crunching tackling then from the French, but the first 2 times they've had the ball, they've lost it to New Zealand.
Jose Ginet had it, lost it into the tackle. Mark Graham. Tony Cole dropping it there, trying to pick up the ball. No, Kevin Tamati.
I think the wet weather's left a wee bit of dew on the ball, and both sides finding it hard to handle right at the start of the game.
Same ball as they were practicing with the other day. Gets very slippery with a little bit of dampness on top of it, but seems to come up okay as the game progresses. Rosbrook. Jose Ginet. Again, the lost ball. Wet and slippery out there at the moment. And probably a little nervousness in both teams. Mark Broadhurst right up the middle. Nice pass. Graham West. Tamati there. Fred Arcoy picking it up. Mark Broadhurst again.
We've seen Broadhurst in the play 3 times in the one movement.
The crowd loving it. Mark Broadhurst, a tireless worker. Mark Graham. Mark Broadhurst, or Broady as he's known, really is a toiler in a game, and you'll see him 3, 4, sometimes 5 times in a movement. Graham West, Dane O'Hara trying to get through there, but well caught. Shane Varley, a little too small to get through that gap. Well held up by Henri Daniel, it was. Mark Graham trying to get through.
We're seeing Mark Graham's Australian football evidence here, unloading the ball at every opportunity.
A little chip over the top. Who's under it? Dead. Is it a try?
He's called him...
in fact, it had gone forward over the dead ball line.
He's called a New Zealand player offside in front of the ball when it was actually kicked. I think it was Alan Rushton.
So Alan Rushton having the penalty against him. Amidst the confusion, they were so close to the line. Guy Delaunay clears the touch. They're going to take it quickly. Giela, Joel Rosbrook. Haven't really seen the French with a chance to attack now.
Both sides showing positive starts right from the start of the game.
Giela to Delaunay. French managing hold possession a little better than they did in the first couple of moves of the game. Chip through from Delaunay. Mike O'Donnell. He's not making any ground, doesn't get the pass away. Tackled by Rodriguez. Dan O'Hara. Strong runner. Dan O'Hara just signed for Hull yesterday, along with 2 other Kiwis. Broadhurst. Fred Arcoy tidying it up. Mark Graham. The Kiwis making good ground with their possession. Certainly doing more with it than the French at the moment. Nice pass away from Alan Rushton. James Luluai. Broadhurst. Tony Cole.
New Zealand not afraid to throw that ball around. They're trying to work the gaps. They're trying to get the ball out wide, and we're seeing them running hard onto the ball. Tony Cole on his 30th test for New Zealand.
Guido puts the ball out, makes sure of it. He's gained 25, 30 metres. That Kiwi front row, Mark Broadhurst, Alan Rushton, Kevin Tamati, amongst the best in the world. Very, very hard front row. And the New Zealand pack much bigger. Varley's got it. Just whipping round the back there, Varley, but well caught by Giela. Rushton. Tony Cole. Slipping through 1. Slipping out of 2 more tackles. Still going. Good running, Tony Cole. James Luluai. Broadhurst. Graham, this certainly looks like a keen Kiwi team at the moment.
They're running onto the ball very well, and here we see Mark Graham going through again.
Good little double round from Shane Varley to Mark Graham.
No, the New Zealand team, every time they've had the ball, they've made progress with it. They've made 20, 30, 40 yards, where the French are not really making ground except for their kicks.
Now, that's something that the French were penalised for in the South Island game too.
Here we see them paying the penalty again, putting the ball in the second row, and 2 points on the board for New Zealand. It surprises me this early in the game, kicking for the sideline.
Dane O'Hara putting it out there. Broadhurst is going to have a go. May be a costly mistake for New Zealand. Shane Varley. Varley going on his own. Broadhurst gets the pass out. Gary Crone, the try.
Gary Prome, the loose forward, come winger, scores the try. It was a fine try. We criticised him for kicking. Here we see the ball now. It's out to Shane Varley. He's nowhere to go. Reverses the pass. Right across to Mark Broadhurst. And Prom in the corner.
So, France again to feed the scrum. Guiala.
Well, feeding the scrum this time. They won the scrum previously, dropped the ball, and now feeding it.
Differential penalty for the scrum infringement. They can't take a shot at goal, so playing the ball now. 5 tackles left. 12 metres out from the French line. Broadhurst. Held up. Coming back. Graham West. Still able to get the pass out. Mark Graham.
New Zealand looking dangerous, close to the line.
Broadhurst. Ball going loose there. Mike O'Donnell was quick enough to get onto it. Dennis Williams.
It's an interesting duel in the centres.
There's some fairly crunching tackles coming in there. The kick up from Fred Ackroyd. Anybody's ball, and who's got it?
Nobody's got it. The French have got it.
Joel Rosbrook.
France, one man at a time. There's no backing up in the forward play at all as yet.
Skiro with the kick. O'Donnell's back there and safe. Sides to play it out. Gary Prome back to O'Donnell. Nearly lost. Dane O'Hara back to tidy up. He's lost it. Sebastian Rodriguez. And he had Nordeau outside him. Michel Nordeau. An excellent try out of nothing for France. Michel Nordeau eventually getting across.
The mistake by New Zealand has let France come back into this game. Some poor play by New Zealand here. Here we have it. We have Dane O'Hara spilled the ball in a hard tackle. The French very quickly on to pick it up. And there we see Sebastian Rodriguez slipped his way out of the tackle. Flicked the ball back out here. And then we have Michael Naudet over the post. And this should be a very kickable chance for France.
Dennis Williams restarts. The kick not good enough. 3-all. Henri Daniel.
Robbed the ball in the tackle by New Zealand. And then we must have saw a bit of back chat. So the referees marched up 10 metres.
It's going to be Guy Delaunay to find touch. And he's done so beautifully. 20 metres. Guiala.
We have a replacement in the New Zealand team already. Number 10, Kevin Tamati, has gone off, and Howie Tamati is coming on as his replacement.
So Kevin Tamati replaced by his cousin. Haven't seen Kevin Tamati have a knock. Don't know what it's about, but they may want a little more mobility in the pack. So number 15 now for New Zealand is Howie Tamati. Normally a hooker. Alan Rushton may go out to prop. We'll wait for the first scrub to see. Joel Rosbrook. Rosbrook again on the move. Michel Nordeau well held up. Good tackle, Dane O'Hara.
A good solid crunching tackle.
French deciding to move the ball around a bit more now. It's Manuel Caravacca. Can he be stopped? Who's he got out on the wing?
Very unlucky. The flag's up right in the corner there, but we saw some fine attacking play from the French centres.
In fact, it was Hugh Ratier who came flying up on the wing there. Hugh Ratier came bursting up on the wing, and Manuel Caravacca showed us some pace as well. Henri Daniel, well held up by Fred Arcoy. Fred Arcoy, after looking a little tentative early in the game, looks like he's found his stride. Gary Prone. Well taken, Gary Prone. Shane Varley. Guy Delaunay bundles Varley into touch. This is becoming a hard game. Graham West still got the ball, gets it away. Good pass to Cole. Nicely passed. Luluwai gets it to Dane O'Hara. O'Hara is so close. Bundled out. Sebastian Rodriguez came across and managed to bundle Dane O'Hara out, but the Kiwis certainly look dangerous when they get on attack.
Possession certainly seesawing between the two teams, and there we see New Zealand a fine break with Dane O'Hara almost going in on the corner. Here we see James Luluwai's leg is very, very heavily strapped.
The Kiwi backline, when it gets into action, certainly looks dangerous, Graham. Nicely stolen possession by Shane Varley. He's only a little fella, but he gets round there very quick. Mark Graham, can I have a go alone? Can he get it out? Up to take the tackle.
The score is still only 3-all. New Zealand have had all the possession. They really need some points on the board.
Not making a lot of ground until James Luluwai decided to come inside and have a go up the middle. They were going backwards. Tony Cole. Mark Graham. Mark Graham desperately trying to get that pass out. Mike O'Donnell's there. Has he dropped it over the line? No try.
No, the referee's certainly given a try. The French were complaining that the ball was knocked on, but Mark Graham's pass went backwards. So here we get the replay now, and we see the ball come out from Tony Cole out to Mark Graham, and we see the ball come along the ground. It's the Frenchman that actually knocked it out of Mark Graham's hand, and we see Michael O'Donnell force his way across the line. Here we see it again. We'll have a close look at this try now. We'll have a close look at O'Donnell when he forces this ball. Here comes the ball out now. It's along the ground. Watch O'Donnell closely. He picks it up. I think he grounded that ball. It's a fair enough try.
Mark Graham through the gap. Mark Graham almost getting the pass away. Not quite, but tidied up. And that's the third or fourth time we've seen Mark Graham able to find a gap through 2 or 3 little chinks in the defence of this French team. If anybody can find a gap, Mark Graham can, and boy, is he hard to stop. I think the referee saw that tackle, which looked just a little dangerous.
It was Dennis Williams coming in on his opposite number. Perfectly legal tackle, but he almost let the French through. He'd come in off the centre and left a big wide gap out in the wing position.
So Guy Delaunay, 6'2" and 13 stone 10, finding that his opposite number, Dennis Williams, at 5'10" and 14 stone 7, might be short, but he's a chunky little fella too, and he can tackle hard. Really very unadventurous moves from the French, though. Quite predictable and not getting them very far at all. It's only when it gets to the back line that it's actually doing anything constructive. I think they're feeling the effects of 6 kilos lighter per man in the forward pack.
Mr. Weed kick through again. It's a good kick. I think we're seeing here today, we're seeing a New Zealand team playing with a lot of confidence. It's the most I've seen them throw a ball around in the first 40 minutes of a game for a number of years.
Now, we've already seen the replacement forward for the Kiwis, Howie Tamati, on the field replacing his cousin Kevin, and now we have Mark Graham with an injury to his ankle, it looks like. Right on half-time, New Zealand leading France by 6-3 at half-time. Mark Graham's okay and back on the field to start the second half. We wonder, though, if there might be the odd injury in that Kiwi side. James Luluai doesn't look as though he can stretch his legs at all. And Fred Arcoy has looked a little suspect in the early stages of the game. And as a result, there seem to be a few members of the Kiwi team doing the majority of the work. Howie Tamati. James Luluai, you saw there again, he's very reluctant to run. He doesn't look like he can stretch out at all. They've already had one replacement. Howie Tamati for Kevin Tamati. So one can only speculate as to what they'd have to do if they need another replacement. Luluai coming onto the ball a little faster that time. Hopping into the tackle. Scrums so far, New Zealand's won 4 and France 5, and the penalties have gone 6-5 in France's favour. Let's have a look at the scrum. Most of the penalties have come from the scrums, as was the case against the South Island last Wednesday night.
New Zealand haven't managed to capitalise on the free-flowing game they had in the first half yet. They haven't fully got into their stride, but they're back on attack for the first time.
Fred Arcoy, that's a better kick that time. Gives him 15, 16 metres. See, just underneath Fred Arcoy's sock there on his right-hand leg. He's very heavily bandaged, right around the ankle and all up his leg with a sort of splint arrangement on it. Arcoy on to Tony Cole and some shuffling there. Shane Varley not happy with Hervé Guiraud holding him. Luluai ducking in and out. Varley. Mark Graham. $15 metres out. Varley. Broadhurst puts the pass on, but not good enough. Dennis Williams picks it up. O'Donnell inside to Gary Prome. Prome, the first half try scorer. Rushton. Inside nicely to Howie Tamati. Can he get a pass away? Takes the tackle. 6 metres out. A little chip up from Fred Arcoy, who's under it. Nicely taken. Tony Cole, the try. James Luluai picking it up for Tony Cole. An excellent try from a little chip up from Fred Arcoy.
Just what New Zealand needed. Let's have a look at it again. The ball goes up in the air high, a perfectly placed kick. And there we see James Luluai. He jumps hard, beats the Frenchman. Well past judge to Tony Cole. He's over in the corner. Here we see the ball. We're seeing this replay again. The Frenchmen, 2 or 3 of them walking. And there's Tony Cole.
New Zealand leading France 9-3. The kick unsuccessful for Dennis Williams. Excellent try to Tony Cole in the right place at the right time, and he's been toiling all day. Justified reward. Alan Rushton well and truly picked up by Joel Rosbrook. Losing the ball gear, can't hold on to it. Shane Varley up so quick on Guy Delaunay. in fairly staid moves from the French. Sebastian Rodriguez getting that pass fairly quickly away. Mark Graham there to tidy up. Muckley. Guido. Nordo. Manuel Caravacca caught by Fred Arcoy. Well held. Christian Muckley. It was Marcel Pillon. He tried to get the pass up to Sebastian Rodriguez, but nicely stolen by Dane O'Hara.
Here we see Mark Broadhurst first on the play again.
Tony Cole. Graham West, almost walking. Broadhurst still in there, toiling away. Howie Tamati.
We see West, people think he's walking, but you've got to remember he's 6'5". He's a big man. He's got long strides.
James Luluwai. Now, James Luluwai looks quite okay, but when you consider that this man can hit full pace in about 2.5 strides, and he is an incredibly fast runner, what we've seen of him today is not top form at all.
This could possibly be one of the last test matches we see James Luluwai in. He's signed to play for the whole club in England.
He doesn't look very happy out there in the centres. Both his ankles strapped. Fred Arcoy puts the kick up, and he's gained the conservative 15 metres. Alan Rushton up there to play it. Broadhurst and Howie Tamati doing the major part of the work along with Tony Cole. Tony Cole's been supporting Wells today. Cole. Caught by Manuel Caravaca. 10 metres out. Shane Varley. Mark Graham.
Very close to forward, I would think.
Varley. Broadhurst. And moving it on nicely. James Luluwai getting it through. James Luluwai with a try.
Here we see the replay now. The ball comes out to Shane Varley, out to Mark Broadhurst. And there we see James Luluwai coming through there now, just managing to get across and score right beside the goalpost.
Dennis Williams, the kicker again. This one dead simple, straight in front. Under pressure, though. Flags go up. 14 points to 3. New Zealand leading France. Graham West, despite the fact that he's looked a little slow on occasions, is still getting through a lot of work in tackles. Towed through. McDonald's fairly safe. Gets the pass to Gary Prone. Gary Prone running strong. Still going. Out of 2 tackles. Gets the pass away. Dennis Williams in there. Good running, Gary Prone, and the crowd loved that too. Local boy.
Here he goes again. Looks dangerous every time he's got the ball in hand.
Back into Fred Arcoy. Gary Prome, of course, used to be a forward, a good second rower, and a good solid player, but came of age as a winger under Seth Mountford's guidance in England and France. He's a very hard man to stop and steps well out of tackles. Mark Broadhurst. Shane Varley. Varley's found a gap. Mark Graham. Nicely put up from Shane Varley for Mark Graham to finish off. Nice try.
There's Mark Graham from the North Sydney club, but let's see where it all started. Here we see it. Here we have Mark Broadhurst again, first on the ball as usual. Shane Varley, a decisive breakthrough, and here's Mark Graham backing up.
Beautiful gap made by Shane Varley.
Here we see it again. The ball out to Varley, a nice little break. And Mark Graham, the easiest of runs across beside the posts.
Dennis Williams with the kick, and it's there again, right in front. 19 points to 3. New Zealand leading France. Shane Varley is a player who's benefited from a little tussle there's been between he and Gordon Smith from the West Coast. Gordon Smith, of course, injured, unavailable for this test. But Shane Varley has taken the opportunity by the horns and has certainly played well. Dennis Williams hopping up there and getting the ball, getting possession. Michel Naudot coming in over the top of him very hard. Those two have had a real tussle all day. Ed Arcoy getting it out nicely to Mike O'Donnell. Inside to Gary Prone. Back to Mike O'Donnell. And O'Donnell was out.
There we see Gary Prome again. He's played extremely well today. He's made ground every time he's had that ball.
Gary Prone, one of the real finds of the Tour de Britain and France. With the number of offers that are coming from Australia and England for all of these players that have just been on tour, it won't be long, I'm sure, before Gary Prome is in demand for big money as a winger. Guiraud. That's Marcel Pillon and Naudot. Naudot, strong, running, tall, evasive player. Manages to get the ball away, but the pass surely must have been forward. Rodriguez towing it on, but I think it's in vain. The pass was a mile forward.
We saw Michel Naudot, who we see on the ground there now, number 4. He's, I think he's upset about muffing the pass up more than anything else.
It's an excellent run. He's a hard man to catch. He's 5'11" and 11 stone 8. Tall, lean player.
We see the French standoff there. He's telling his halfback off because he never passed him the ball. It went behind him. He's showing his disgust.
Hervé Guiraud. French standoff. He had an excellent game last Wednesday night against the South Island. He's had a good game again today, but has been a little frustrated by passes going wild. French again penalised. No, in fact, it's the French hooker penalised, Christian Macali. Arcoy. He's found the sideline safely. Conservative kick again, 15 metres. Back in action again. They can afford to have a little adventure now. Beautiful running Mike O'Donnell. And that pass, that tackle on James Lillaway has to be illegal.
It's a highly legal tackle, and the referee is now calling out. I think it's Rossenbrook, the loose forward. He threw his arm high in the air.
The tackle came in the form.
Here we see it again. If we watch closely, here we are. We see a switch in play. We see Michael O'Donnell come through. The ball goes out.
The tackle was an afterthought, but nevertheless illegal and quite dangerous. So now we'll see Dennis Williams with a shot at goal. A little bucket of sand, hardly needed today, but it props the ball up nicely like a golf tee.
I think perhaps the kick will be a wee bit long for Dennis Williams. He hasn't succeeded from the sideline previously, and this kick's probably on the stretch. It's probably 45, 50 metres, probably about 45 metres or slightly on the angle. But Dennis Williams this year in the Auckland competition is the leading point scorer. Here it goes.
Williams with the kick.
It's a good kick.
What a chance, what a kick, Dennis Williams.
Well, he really got under that kick. He lifted it high. There he is, Dennis Williams.
Mark Broadhurst. James Lillaway. A little bit of pace. Shane Varley. Straight sprint. Shane Varley to try.
Well, what a fine try so late in the game. Shane Varley just announced. Here we see it again. Alan Rushton. That's to Broadhurst again. And there we see Lillaway. He seems to be holding up a wee bit. Now, just watch this as he goes across the line. We see number 5 really throw himself at Shane Varley and hit him very, very high. And Shane Varley, just announced as man of the match, winner of the $100 award, scores a fine try. Let's have a look at it again. Here we see Alan Rushton, Mark Broadhurst, James Lillaway draws the fullback in, and watch number 4 for France, number 5.
Shane Varley with enough sense to opt not to have a go back at Hugh Ratier, who offered a little punch there as he tackled Shane Varley over the line. Shane Varley said, "I've scored the try, let's forget it." Dennis Williams with the kick. Flags are up. 26 points to 3. New Zealand leading France. New Zealand's game, very definitely. Manuel Caravaca taking the tackle by Tony Cole. Daniel. They really are still not making any ground, the Frenchmen, when they go up the middle or at the side. Forwards just not big enough or strong enough at this stage of the game. It's not till it comes out of the backs like this that they actually make the ground. The game's all over. New Zealand beating France in this first test, 26 points to 3. Tries for New Zealand to Gary Pro, Mike O'Donnell, Tony Cole, Mark Graham and Shane Varley. And Dennis Williams has kicked a penalty and 3 conversions. And for France, Michel Naudot, the try. Penalties favouring New Zealand 11 to 9. And the scrums almost even. New Zealand 7, France 8.